just at all. Well, I got a pair of pliers here. Channel locks.
Ooh. All right, well, here we go, the big boys in the 450 class, and Barsha right out there.
Look at Barsha out front, because I was down there on the first time practice. I tell you, it didn't go so well for the 51. So it's interesting to see if he gets out there pretty early. And
I'm surprised they rolled that triple.
Well, they have to, because when they're coming back on to the start straight here.
Right. They got to slow down because of the
they
first
want to
turn.
let the guys come through, give everybody a
gotcha.
good time to get down the start straight. It's pretty tricky track layout here. When you're looking at it on a map, you're like, man, where the heck do these guys go?
Right.
But they got it figured out.
All right, well, we got Millsaps and Barsha now. Now they'll be able to wick them up a little bit.
Barsha just turned 21. I don't know if you guys went over that
No,
already, but
he's
birthday,
21 now, yeah.
Birthday's coming up, man, or today, I think it is.
Today's his birthday?
I think, either today or here in the near future, but I know he's making 21, so he'll enjoy Vegas this year.
Yeah. Is he a gambler like you?
I don't know. hopefully he's better than me.
Yeah, he looked good. He looks good right now. Step on, step off, use the outside of the stand, drive it in, square it off, and go to the left side of the whoops. Actually, he takes the right side of the whoops.
Say anything you want about Justin Barsha, he is fun to watch on a bike. He is aggressive.
Yes, he is.
Got that triple and then really triple single.
A lot of guys taking that tall side of that jump right there, Jim, coming across the
Yeah, they're protecting that inside line, and then they just kind of hit it at a 45 and jump to the outside. I mean, that's the fast line.
When you bring that inside into play, it's so easy to drift on the way out of there. Those mechanics better keep their eyes open tonight.
Well, I saw Marvin actually in the practice when I was looking back. He actually jumped into the tough block, He jumped a little bit too far over. So, like you said, Kevin, you got to watch out for that.
I remember a couple of years ago they had the mechanics area and a bike came tumbling on in.
Yeah.
Cleared out a couple of guys.
I remember Justin Barsha there in San Diego on the, I think it was the main event. He took the little detour into the mechanics area, kind of knocked off the side of the bike and wound up running through the
heat race. Actually,
oh, it was a heat race.
He got in front of Chad Reed, and then I thought they were going to get into it in the main event, but Chad lost the front end going.
Boys, we're seeing some 51s right now.
I knew it.
51.9, Trey Kennard.
Trey Kennard's got a win here. I believe it was back in 2011. Kennard had a win here.
I think that was the year.
And you were fighting with him, if I remember correctly.
I had the lead. I had
the lead.
But then I don't remember the closing parts of that race. I was hanging out in the mobile medical unit.
Yeah. I remember Dungy was in there also.
Yep.
Quick update on the times, just about 3 minutes into this practice, 450A practice qualifying round number 2. Trey Kennard, 51.945, it's at the top of the leaderboard, followed by Ryan Villapoto, 51.996, so very close there. And then Davey Millsaps, James Stewart, and Justin Barsha, so far a much better round for Justin Barsha in that 5th place spot. And it's Dungy, Hill, Short, Alessi, and Gerke, your top 10.
Dungy trying something there. He jumped all the way to the step on, and he didn't know if he had quite had it to step off. So we'll see what he does the next lap when he comes around. There's Andrew Short.
Well, they're whiting out those BTO Sports KTMs. A little bit different look with the white gear.
That looks really tricky to do 4 in that section he just went through.
Yeah.
Got to get a good drive down the back of that tabletop and really seat bounce that thing pretty hard on that first takeoff.
Let's see what Andrew does here in the whoops if he's going to.
Boy, those things are brutal.
And he goes to the left-hand side.
Made a good pass through him right there.
There, that step on, step off worked that time. That's going to get tricky tonight, though. You already see the ruts. You see it kind of starting to break down and everything.
And that's a low bank turn right there. That 180 is low bank, so not a lot to drive off there. So it's going to really have these bikes chewing up the race surface, and I think making a really deep rut. And I like that about a track when the rider has to make that decision of when you can't do an obstacle. Well, I got to back out of this. I have to take a different line right now. So
well, and that's something that like you said, as we're watching James Stewart, I mean, that's been some of his problems on some of his crashes when he's coming through the traffic and he's lapping. Other guys aren't able to triple out, and he'll still try it, and he'll run into the back of them or have his problems with that. Like last year here, even he overjumped one of those things. So, like you said, we were talking, Kevin and I, earlier about, not only do you physically got to be strong in those 20 main event, but it's the last 7 laps or so where you got to make sure you're still hitting your marks. And let's see what James does.
Wow.
Splits those, yeah.
Were just amazing. And that's something about Stewart that kind of also brings him to that that level of enjoyment to watch him and to see what he's doing, because unfortunately for him, a lot of times he goes hero or zero. I actually think that he's a great interpreter of how the track is going to change, bike setup and obstacles that he's going to change into different, man. But when he has an issue and it falls off, look at that, to the top of the board.
Yeah.
51.619, James Stewart did that coming out of the mechanics area, so whatever change he made, it was faster.
But when he goes down, boy,
it goes down.
It's a show. He goes down.
And I was saying to somebody earlier today that whether you like James Stewart or hate James Stewart or are ambivalent about James Stewart, you have to admire the toughness of the guy, because when he hits the ground, he gets up lots of times. He gets right back on the bike. It's amazing to me how many times James has come back from a big crash to then be in the LCQ, win the LCQ, or come back and be in the main, or come back the very next week when you thought, wow, most anybody would be out.
Completely agree. I mean, he seems to just bounce right back and got them hard. So I think that if he'd have won half the races that he was in contention to win, it'd be a whole different season for James Stewart. But unfortunately, it just didn't go his way a lot of times this year for whatever reason.
Well, and I think that today, that fast lap, I think that was in the whoops as you're watching Trey Canard here.
Wow, did you see that chunk of dirt he pulled up, Trey? Yeah, he did. You're right, he blitzed right through his
I mean, that's where he made up a lot of that time to have that fast lap, and there's Trey Canard even taking that dirt.
Man.
51.57, Trey Canard now just 1/10 faster than James Stewart. Justin Barcia there in third, so don't forget about Barcia, 51.8, and then Villapoto, 51.9. Dungey at 5th place with a 52 flat.
Well, it's going to take a good start tonight to win here, that's for sure. I mean, everybody seems like they're on their A game here tonight. They're having fun with the track, and she's just kind of dancing around the Yamaha there, kind of kicked towards the end where James's bike was tracking nice and straight. And man, it looked like he was only using half of the suspension going through the whoops.
I don't know what it is, but what changed, or if that was just a bad pass there for Brayton through those whoops. But I tell you what, I was down on the floor for practice 1. You guys saw me with the shovel, and the kid was just blitzing those whoops so fast, so committed, just riding so well. So he got a little dance there, a little huckabuck that time, but I feel really confident that they didn't adjust that bike in between practices, because it looked dialed in.
Yeah. Brayton now up to 7th as you watch Trey Canard look like plodding into that turn there, but now a new leader, Ryan Dungey, 51.20 with a minute 30 remaining in this practice session. So Dungey goes from 5th to 1st in 1 lap. A 3/10 advantage over Trey Canard. Phil Nicoletti on the 49 NFAB Tylube Yamaha.
That's how his Yamaha goes through the whoops. Not bouncing sideways, but he lost momentum.
He's going through them, and like you say, not deflecting. That's right. But if you look at like Stewart or some of the other guys, they maintain such great forward drive, and when that front end really starts tagging those loops,
you're in trouble.
Slows down that forward momentum so much.
Under a minute to go here in 450A practice qualifying session number 2.
That RV pulled it into the pits. Maybe he's going to make an adjustment and come out.
He's got time to maybe make a quick adjustment and do one flyer, one heater lap, see if he can get up there.
Bobby Canary.
Another NFAB Tylube entry.
Another one of the many fathers on the track.
Yeah.
His new father this year. Congratulations to him.
Let's see if Bobby Canary made it bumped up a little bit. It doesn't look like it.
Yeah, showing him in 20th with a 54.6.
Yeah, man, that's... you got to pick it up.
54 Les Smith.
Right here especially when they're coming out of that stand section. Boy, it looks like those bikes will get kicked every now and then as they transition back to the...
well, what happened? Oh, yellow flag for Les Smith. That's going to bone a lot of people on this last trying to...
When you see a guy down and you're committed to those whoops, you cannot back out.
Down, no.
So a lot of times if you're not comfortable with committing on the entry, you just gotta back out.
And that's the age-old argument when you're going up to a triple jump and they throw the red cross out. You can't back out of it. There's a certain point when you're committed that if you back out of it, you're in trouble and you're going to have a bad crash.
I agree, but I have seen some pretty good leniency on AMA's part there. So
Villapoto didn't do it.
The Ryans crossed the finish line, and that is it for 450A practice number 2. Ryan Dungey, top qualifier, 51.2.
51.2. Wow, that was almost taken off a full 2 seconds after the...
51.2 for Ryan Dungey. So if KTM is going to get a win in the 450 class, Ryan Dungey has set them up pretty well for the night program. Followed by Trey Canard, 51.57. Then it's James Stewart, 51.6. And Justin Barsha, 51.8. Villapoto, 51.9. So top 5 in that 51. And then you move on to Millsaps, Brayton, Hill, Gerke, and Nicoletti in the top 10. Followed by Tickle, LeMay, Alessi, Weimer, Short, Partridge, Pike, Belos, Smith, and Canary.
Yeah.